Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome to episode 55 of our All the Mod 6 to the Sky Let's Play series. Where real quick, I just want to show that I finally found an area with some dragons. There are actually 3 dragons in this zone. So I'm going to go ahead and take them out real quick, and then, we're going to come back and actually get to what we need to do in this episode. But we need to hope that we can get... this is going to be too small of a dragon, watch. That one's down. This one is also down. Don't disappear on me. And then there's another one over here. Hopefully one of these was a female and has an egg. We'll find out. Oh, look, there's another one. Wow, this was the spot. These all seem like pretty small dragons to me, though. Yeah, well, let's see what happens here. Give me my parts. Excuse me? Do you not want to give them to me because of where you fell? Like, this is concerning. This one's working. No dragon egg. You were a lightning dragon, though. I think they're too small. These are very small dragons. Stage 3. Let's land here. Give me some parts. Okay. Again, no egg. This is going to be really frustrating if I can't get an egg after killing even 4 dragons. No egg. The eggs are craftable, but you require, in order to craft them, a dragon soul, nice. In order to craft them, you have to make an all the mod star, so it's kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah, all stage 3. No dragon egg from any of these guys. I don't think that they make eggs until stage 4. Or maybe even 5. I don't know. All I know is I'm not getting anything. So I'm going to go ahead and loot all these, and we'll come back and actually start the meat of this episode, which is going to be bigger reactors. So, yeah, we'll be back. Okay, well, I give up. Dragons, not happening. If we go in here and we look for skull, does that work? Look at how many dragons I have fought. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I found 1 stage 5 ice dragon, and that was when we first went into the other many episodes ago, and that was from a corpse. Outside of that, I have only found stage 3 dragons. I found 1 stage 3 fire, a bunch of stage 3 lightnings, and nothing. So we'll see what we do with that. The pack was changed. You used to be able to capture them in a mob imprisonment tool, and then you could duplicate the dragons. And then they would duplicate at random tiers. It's highly possible I may re-enable that. It was disabled in the pack because it wasn't intended behavior. But my goodness, let's see. Look how much I have explored this dimension. Let's look at our map. That is like, let's see, we are at 64, 133, 100. 11,000, 120, and 5,000. So I've traveled over 10,000 blocks. And look at this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dragons were in this one little zone, and not one of them was higher than tier 3. And it's just the same way. This desert had 4. That was the desert that we started this episode at, and nothing there. And then the other problem is you run into these small deserts that have nothing in them, or you go like, 4,000 blocks without finding a desert. It's a little bit frustrating, to be honest with y'all. So we'll see what happens. I may give it another try in between episodes here and try and find us a lightning dragon to get, get a lightning dragon egg, or even just any dragon egg really at this point. But if it doesn't work, we may be enabling the capturing of dragons with our mob imprisonment tool and duplicate them, because I don't got time to fly around, 40,000 blocks to try and find a lightning dragon. It's just not feasible. So Anyway, that being said, moving on, that's a venture for a different day that we will have to figure out a different day. But yeah, bigger reactors. I've never played with this mod. This Bigger Reactors, from what I understand, is a fairly old mod. It's a legacy mod that has been ported up all the way through up to 1.16. And I believe it got a complete rewrite in 1.16 as well. But it's been around for a long time, and I've never played with it. So let's try it out. From what I understand, it's pretty simple to set up, and it can generate a lot of power for you. And its name implies that it can be made fairly large. Bigger reactors, you can make a big reactor. So let's see. I've done a little bit of research on what we need, and we're just gonna wing it, and we're gonna go and try and figure this out live. We'll probably build a small reactor, see how it works, and then from there we can expand into a larger reactor. So what we need is this graphite ingot, and graphite ingot is made in an energized smelter of coal or charcoal. Easy peasy. So let's go ahead and grab some coal, throw it in here, get some graphite cooked up. And then we should have an energized smelter somewhere that we can use, correct? Yes. Wait, that was energized smelter, right? That's just a smelting recipe? Yes. Oh, I thought it was enriching. Okay, so that'll actually be super, super simple to make. So there's that. So that's reactor casing. So we're going to teach the system how to make these because we're going to need a lot of them. So there's reactor casings. Control rods we're going to teach how to make as well because we're going to need quite a few of these. And reactor casings, we already know. Yep. Okay. We're not going to need a lot of those, but we are going to need quite a few of these. And these other things can be crafted manually because we don't need that many. Okay. So let's go ahead and throw these things in here. Let's just go ahead and make ourselves a decent amount, like bigger reactors. I mean, there was a, which I accidentally closed the tab. I now look over and realize there's a simulator that can tell you, like, if you want to build how many of each thing you're going to need. And it was something like 800 reactor casings. But we'll go with 128 for now and see where we end up. Let's do like 64 of those. 64 of those. And we'll go from there. All right, so we're going to need a reactor terminal. This is the brains of the operation. We're going to need an access port so we can input items. And we're going to need an access port so we can output items. Stack up. And then we're going to need power because, well, we want power to come out of this guy. Let's grab our casings. You're going ahead and crafting all that stuff. Let's get another 128. We have the ability to make that. And then we're going to need a maximum compact machine. What are you? What is in you? You are nothing. What was I using you for? I was using this one for something. Oh, that's what it was. This was the villager spawner. Before I had set up, going too fast. Before I set this up, I was, I built the villager spawner inside a compact machine. And that's when I discovered that the witches do not like to spawn if I'm inside of a compact machine, yada, yada, yada. But this can be the one that we use. Okay. Question is, where do we set this up? Because I kind of like our setup here, and it's going to throw it off if I put another one of these down because we have an even amount right now. Well, it just means we're going to have to expand into another compact machine eventually. Cut quartz. No. What are you doing? Go away. Thank you. We're going to put you here. We're going to put you here. We're going to get a compact machine piece. We're going to get a sign, and it was an oak sign that we've been using. Bam. And this is going to be our bigger reactor, which fits. It sits next to our power reactor. Bigger reactor. And there we go. We're going to want to get our whole network gamut going on in here. So let's go ahead. Not 14, though. If we made 14 by accident, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. And then let's check out how Bigger Reactors is doing. Got a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we have a terminal, we have power tap. Also, I know, let's get some platinum. Let's use some platinum blocks as our coolant, and we're going to go from there. Okay. Yeah. All right. So then lastly, let's grab those network pieces. We can get this set up real quick so we have access to our network inside of here and be good to go. Okay. Yeah, that's why my spawn is so high up, is because I wanted this to be my villager spawner area. Okay, right centered. Let's go ahead and put our network receiver. Yeah, I guess I don't need to. I can have it underground now. I don't need to have that. I mean, I never needed to have the wireless transmitter out, but I always did, just for visuals. That's you, and my sign. Bigger reactor. Okay, so now we have refined storage access inside of here for when we need it. But let's see what we need to do to get this thing built. Okay. So we are going to be building it basically center of this room because it's a fairly large thing that we're going to end up ultimately having, and it's going to take up all of this space. So we are going to find the center of the room again, right here. And this is where we're going to start. So the way that this works is you have to build a reactor, and it's the internal size of the reactor that is what's important, if I'm making sense. So when someone says that they're building an 11 by 11 reactor, they mean that they are building an 11 by 11 interior, which would be a 13 by 13 exterior. So this right now is, for Bigger Reactors verbiage, this is a 3 by 3 reactor. So if we go here, if we do 3 and then we build up, it'll be a 3 by 3 by 3 reactor to start with. And then we go, then you can expand from there. So let's just do this. And we should be able to use our building wand. Really, I shouldn't make a building gadget at this point, but hey. Nope, that is not what we want. So let's do this. I don't want to extend the wall. I just want to extend the sides. Well, that'll work. And then so the internal of this is 3 by 3, and it's 3 high, right? So 3 by 3 by 3. So, or 27 spaces inside. So what we're going to want is let's exit this and then go back in so I can see where my entrance is. So we can do, this. We're going to take our terminal and put our reactor terminal here. And then we can do item output, power output, and item input. Does that sound appropriate? Again, I am absolutely winging this. I have never used this before, but this is based on everything I've seen. This is pretty much how you can set this up. Okay. So to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to use our reactor fuel rods and our control rods. Our fuel rods, we are going to set up to go like so, but not there. And then you can do a checkerboard pattern. Take our platinum, place it here as a coolant block. This is where a building gadget would come in handy. Platinum is going to absorb the heat from our fuel rods. And then we can place these on top of those. Bam. And then lastly, we need our reactor control rods to go in these sections. And theoretically, yes, it built. You can see it built because the texture's changed and we look good to go. Okay, so this is the UI for the reactor. Basically tells you how much generation, how much RF you're generating, what your heat's like, our reactivity rate, how much fuel usage you're using, and whether you're ejecting waste. So yeah, basically, let's start it up. Let's see what happens. So what we're gonna need is, for now, let's get a hopper or two. That way we can input the items and the items can get output. So this is gonna be our input, and really this probably should be a chest. You're an output. Let's get a flux plug. And I don't want to put all the rest of this stuff away because we're going to end up using most of it. A flux plug needs a flux block. And then you are going to go on the back of here. You are going to be our bigger reactor. And you'll be on our input network because, he's inputting power to our network. And then all we got to do is give him some uranium, which we have, an abundance of. So it shouldn't be too big of an issue to feed some uranium into this. And what it's going to do is it's going to convert the uranium into fuel, or liquid uranium, I guess you could say, buckets of uranium. So we'll just let's get another chest. Yeah, I don't need the diamond chest. We'll end up with an importer on this thing, or an exporter, but just for testing purposes, I want to just run this as is without having refined storage being involved in the whole process. So this can all go there, and it can just hopper straight into the hopper. We have waste is going to come out of there, and that's pretty much it. So let's turn it on, see what happens. Online. Okay. So very quickly, we got very hot, and yeah, pretty much it. So we're generating 11,000 RF per tick, and we are burning about 1.4 millibuckets per tick of fuel. And our reactor is 300% reactive. What all this means, be honest, I got no idea. We're generating 11,000 RF a tick from this, and we are using uranium not super duper quickly. Like, it's not going crazy with our uranium. And we're outputting cyanite. Cyanite is used to make other, like your turbines and stuff like that, or it can be used as a heating block instead of a coolant block instead of the plutonium, by the way. But yeah, we're producing 11,000 RF just like that. So let's say we do some things. So from what I understand, you can control how much your reactors are. More insertion reduces the reaction rate. Less insertion reduces the reaction rate. Okay. So we have our reaction rate is max right now. Like we're producing as much as we absolutely can. Our reaction rate is not going down. If I were to lower these, it's so we are at 10%, and I set that to all 5. I held Alt to do it to all 5. Now what happens? So what it does is it lowers our fuel consumption, reduces our reactivity. Okay, that makes sense. Control Alt. That should have done them all by 60%. Let's see what that looks like. So we only lost 2,000 RF essentially, but it cut our fuel usage almost in half. More than half, really. So we lost a little bit of power production, but we're conserving even more fuel than we were prior to this. What if we insert the rods all the way? Control Shift Alt. Max insertion. Inserting those all the way kills the reactor. Okay, good to know. So now the reactor is dead. What if we did like Alt 98%? Almost all the way in, but not quite. What do you do? About 1,000 or 1,700 RF. We're not super hot, but yeah. Okay. So basically what this looks like is that there is going to be a sweet spot for all of this. What is that? Control, Alt. You're gonna have to find a sweet spot, a balance between power production and fuel usage. So right now, like I said, we're at 60 or 48%, and we are producing almost 10,000 RF, and we're using about 0.7 millibuckets per tick of fuel. Now, granted, in a world like this, we have pretty much infinite uranium, so it's not that big of a concern. We're probably producing more uranium than we're actually going to end up using from this, at least at this size. But if you're concerned about your uranium production, you definitely want to, play with those numbers and find your sweet spot. So this was a 3x3x3 reactor. What if we bump it up to well, I don't know what this would be. Massive by massive by massive. Basically, we take up every inch of this except for the outer walls and see what that gets us. Yeah, how about we do that? So that means we are going to need that number of reactor casings. That 800 number is probably going to be accurate. I am going to want to get a building gadget, though, for sure for this. So let's go ahead and craft that up real quick. Reactor casing. Actually, you know what? Real quick, before we do this, I'm going to go ahead and pull up that calculator again, just so I know exactly how many we're going to need. So let me come right back. Okay, so according to the calculator, I need a total of 805 casings, one controller, obviously, 60 control rods, and I'm going to need 671 blocks of platinum and 660 fuel rods. So it's going to be expensive. Let's hope that this is worth it. We're going to try it out. I mean, worst comes to worst, we tear it down. We're going to use, a bunch of uranium and iron, but at this point, that part I'm not concerned about. It'd really be the blocks of platinum that's going to be the biggest issue, but we'll just dump those back into the system. So, fuel rods, I have 64 and we needed 660. So I need another 596 of these. And we needed control rods. We have 64. We only need 60 of those, so that's good. And then basically it's the diamond blocks. So what we need to do is start laying this out so I can building gadget it up. Okay, so we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to have an internal 9x9 by 9 and 11 external. Does that sound correct? And I think I ended up just now realizing that I made more than what I'm going to need for all of these casings and stuff, because I based this on an 11x11 internal, which would be the full size of this room, because this is 13. But I need access. I need to be able to get items in and out. So, well, my bad. Anyway, building gadget, select that. We're going to go to build to me and climb up here. Bam, bam, bam. Now we are going to be using some shrinking to get underneath to do all the stuff. Okay. So then, the problem might be that I have these slabs. Let's see if I can build up 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ah, perfect. We don't need access to the top for anything like that. So we just need to, continue building up. Ran out of casings. No, I didn't. It just only built the one for some reason. How many I got left in my inventory? Absolutely none. So that was, yep, look, we did run out. If we go reactor casings. Oh man, this is going to be a pain to build. Now that I think about it, I don't really need to access the top, but I need to be able to get inside and out so I can place all the other stuff. So let me go ahead and build this. I'm not going to make y'all watch me do this again. It's the same process. I'm going to checkerboard the inside with the fuel rods and the platinum and all that stuff, and then, get it all set up. And we will come back and see what this looks like before we end this episode. Okie dokie. Here we go. Only real major caveat with this thing is I cannot access the control rods if I wanted to pull them down. So we'll just hope that they everything works as works good. That it works good, because yeah, there is no changing this. So I have the reactor set up. It is not on currently. It is filling up with fuel. Much larger buffer. Look at that. It is significantly more fuel that can be put into this thing. Yeah, like a lot. I kind of want to turn it on, but at the same time, I want to wait until this is full. But let's just turn it on and see what happens. All right. Not too shabby. We're burning 3 millibuckets per tick of fuel, but we're net positive here, and we're generating 91,000 RF per tick. I mean, can you complain about that much power being output? You power tap, like, do you have a UI? No, there's nowhere for the power to go is the issue. So basically this thing is running and there is nowhere for power to go because, you know, our battery is only holds 6 million. But yeah, we're holding 95,000 RF per tick. So basically what we want to do now is set up an importer and an exporter. Importer of uranium, export whatever the heck comes out of this. So if we get an importer and an exporter, and we say, hey, importer, you're going to be doing uranium, and exporter, you're going to be doing everything else. I am going to have to go ahead and shrink myself, but I should no longer fall through the world when I do this. Let's go ahead and get cables run. It's very weird. I'm like super fast because of that speed charm, and it just feels awkward running around. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Okay. Run this cable up. And one more. Okay, so now we should be able to bigify. All right, so then we are going to have the importer set up right here. Bam, and that should import this cyanite into the system now. I'm not going to put this stuff in there. We have 7. We have 17. So we'll see if it can directly access in a moment. Sometimes machines don't like to play nice with that. And then what we're going to do is break this. Give me all of that uranium back. Get our exporter and set you up to export. Bam. And you are going to export uranium. And just to validate that's working, let's go over here. We should have fuel going up. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, we're up to 112,000 RF now. Nice. So basically what we need now is a battery. We need to set up a mechanism induction matrix because we have a bunch of power, 115,000 RF being produced and nowhere to put it. Let's go ahead and chunk load this because I don't think this guy is chunk loaded. Did it load? Yes, there we go. Okay. But yeah, basically it's just going to dump our uranium into here, which we have a lot of. I mean, even with all of that, we still have a lot. And eventually what's going to happen is it'll back stuff and it'll just, you know, keep dumping. We have uranium seeds. Is that a thing? Can we make uranium seeds? We can. So even if we need to, we can craft uranium. But I think this is pretty good. One thing that would be nice is I think Bigger Reactors has a redstone port. How would we monitor with this redstone port though? Like, what options do you give me? Let's go ahead and break you and do that. Wow, there is a lot. While above fuel temperature, basically trigger while above like 95%. Trigger at 95%. Check. And it's outputting at power level 15. Okay. So when this is over 95%, we basically want it to shut the machine off. Is that possible? When your power is over 95%, go ahead and shut off. While above 95%, it's emitting a redstone signal now. Is this redstone controllable? Like if oh no, it's offline. Hey, status offline. It did turn off. Oh. Well, that's simple. When this is over 95% of its power, turn off. So if I remove that, if I just, delete that, you turn back on? No. Trigger while below. I don't know what all these things mean. You are no longer doing that. Trigger while above 95%. Apply. And then change reactor status on pulse. Toggle whether the reactor is on. When redstone is applied, it is active. It looks like you can only do one of these. We'll do trigger while below. Why can't I change this now? All of a sudden, I can't change this one. Yeah, trigger while below 95%. Can this only do one thing? Is that what I'm getting at? Well, I'll figure it out. We'll see. But anyway, that's it for this episode. So if you enjoyed this building of this massive reactor, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments too if you have any tips or how to set this thing up, because it's slightly confusing. If I need two of these, that's fine. I can set one, I can get another one, put one up here. That one will be this one, and then it will, when it gets a signal, it'll trigger this one, which will turn the reactor off. If that's how it has to work, that's fine. I just, don't really know. But I think next episode, maybe we'll start working on making an induction matrix so we can store all this power somewhere. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.